Hello there, everybody, and
Hi.
hi especially to Natan. You're on Crossy's Corner, Natan Wegrzycki-Szmczyk, the amazing Polish single sculler from Cal, Berkeley, from Cambridge. Silver medal in the Europeans just recently. Amazing. Natan, welcome to Crossy's Corner.
Hi, thanks for the invite. Thanks for having me.
Brilliant. Now, I have to say, we've been talking just before we went live, but you are now in Mexico, and I think everybody's going to find it difficult to understand why you're in Mexico.
Yeah, so I'm in Mexico. It's a little vacation, but also my girlfriend is from the States, so the borders were locked for the whole year, and we couldn't see each other because she couldn't come to Europe. I couldn't go to the States. So now the season is done. We're here for 2 weeks, and actually there's this loophole in the law that you can enter the States if you're not in the European Union, in the Schengen area, for 14 days.
Yeah.
So in a couple of days, we're just going to the States for a little bit because I think hopefully you just can go there, can fly out there after not being in Europe for 2 weeks.
Yeah. So you're quite a romantic guy at heart, then.
Yes, I would like to think that.
and you've just had, is it a hurricane that you've had in near Cancun where you were?
Yeah, so a hurricane just went by, Hurricane Zeta. I think it's the record 27th one in the year.
Wow.
Apparently that's what I heard, and it was kind of crazy because I didn't really see it coming. Just woke up one day, had a trip planned, and then everything was being locked down, and there's some alerts about the hurricane. It was hurricane category 1, so not the highest one, but for me, like, I never experienced anything like that. Still pretty scary, and the winds were so strong you could see it out of the window. And I remember when there was a hurricane before Sarasota,
yeah,
the Worlds, and it was also like very, very intense. So yeah, like luckily nothing really happened around.
That's amazing, and it feels quite safe with the coronavirus to be in Mexico.
It does. So I was surprised. It's also a touristy area, but it feels very safe. The restrictions are held very properly, and you can still go outside, go to restaurants. You're seated in good distance. Everyone is wearing masks. There's also a lot of tourists coming from America, so everyone is very very careful. Although we had some adventures, we had this trip to the pyramid. We were in the car, and then on the way back, the police stopped us. We looked like tourists, so I think like they wanted us to pay them some money, basically.
Oh, wow.
Which was a little weird, but say we didn't have any, so they just let us go because we were not even going too fast.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
So I have to watch out a little bit.
That's very exciting, and you're keeping fit while you're there. I know we were talking. You've been in the pool, and you've got your bicycle, your cycle with you.
Yeah, so it's 2-3 weeks after Europeans now. I'm just moving around a little bit, nothing too crazy. Just doing some work in the gym and in the pool, like something a little every day or every other day. I also have my bike with me. I didn't bike here, but I'm planning to bike a lot when I get to the States. So that's gonna be probably like around 3 weeks there, 3 or 2 weeks there. And then probably end of November, depending on the situation, of course, heading back to Poland, and we have there's some training camp probably going to be.
Yeah. Now, you've flown out to Mexico with a silver medal from the Europeans in your back pocket. Would you say, is that your best ever result in a single scull, or maybe?
Yeah, definitely. Yes. It's such a competitive field in the singles, and I've never really been in the mix. I've usually been in top final B. I won medals at the U23 level, which was awesome. But then it's hard to break through to the top of the field. And yeah, this time was the first time I managed to do that, and it feels very great.
Well, so one of the things that that I meant to ask you is what makes the difference between being in the B final and I know because last year you were in the B final of the Worlds and you were a 10th, I think. You missed by one place the Olympic qualification. But what made the difference in 2020 that you were so competitive with the guys at the front of the field?
Well, for the last 5 years, I was studying first at UC Berkeley at Cal and then at Cambridge, and I do believe it really helped me also improve in the single, rowing in the 8, being part of a bigger team. But then eventually I hit the wall a little bit, so I improved a lot, and then I couldn't get past some constraints. And for the whole year, for the last 5 years, I would be in the 8. I would go to school every day, wake up early for practice, then have classes, around the 8 for the most of the time in a speedboat, and then I would just come back in June after I race. I would come back to Poland, and I would have only 3 months to row to prepare in a single. So it was already very intense because when I would come back, I would have a World Cup in 3 weeks. So there wasn't really much time to work on anything. Or I was fit, but I were preparing for the boat race or the I race, so it was a little bit earlier. So I was running a little bit out of gas, and the summers were very very intense for me. It wasn't really enjoyable, and it was just pretty hard time because there was always also pressure that I had to. I knew that I wasn't improving that much, and there was always this. I was wrestling with that. The same you asked, why am I not better? So it's this year it was kind of an experiment to see if it actually if I put all the time into the single, then if I can actually improve more. And my day this year looked very differently than previous year. So the whole year I was on training camps. I would just wake up early, do a little bit workout, 30 minutes on a bike or something, then breakfast, then 1 hour of chilling, then rowing, let's say, then lunch, another practice, and that's it. And you wouldn't have to go anywhere. Everything was provided within 5 minutes walking radius.
Yeah.
So it was a very very easy and very training oriented. It's hard to get adjusted to it because you're doing so much stuff, and then all of a sudden you're not really doing anything. You get pretty lazy with just with doing stuff except outside of training.
Yeah.
But once you get used to it, you get into a rhythm, and it's it's kind of nice just to, at least for me, it's a mental break now, just to focus on rowing for the whole year, and it was just a lot of time to work on some stuff that, for example, my dad was talking about for many years, but we never had time actually to work on that, and this year was much more, and also with the virus. There was so much more time to, get a good base, get a good volume in, and work on some technical stuff that I've been struggling with in the past.
Yeah. So people are listening to us and asking questions. I don't know if it's Anthony Morozov. I can't really read the Russian. You might read his name better, but he said, "How long have you been using the Australian Magic oarlock?" Which I didn't know you were using that, and why.
Yeah. So I've been using them since 2013, I believe. And I remember back then I switched to the new Crocker oars, and I remember they were very light. So if you would be in headwind, then when I was feathering, they would be blown around a little bit, and there was not as much time until the races. So we just tried them because it holds your oar a little bit, so it's just keeps your set.
Yeah.
And I really liked them from the beginning, and even then later when I switched to concepts, wrote different oars, I just kept them always because I just like them a lot. And people say that sometimes they break. Luckily, never happened to me. Although I'm always a little bit worried, that something will just break.
Yeah.
But I think I was trying to get a spare pair, but I don't think they're producing them anymore because I couldn't find it anywhere. So yeah.
Oh, really?
Well, maybe they are, but I just couldn't. I couldn't see them.
There's another. Can you see that, Natan? A big shout out to a fan, Aaron Hurley.
Oh yeah, of course. Big shout out to Aaron Hurley. Thanks for watching.
Yeah. So, what in your training times did you know in 2020 that you going into the Europeans you were moving quicker than you ever had been?
Yes, I did, and I could see that earlier in the year when I did some erg testing, and I think it was in May. So I've been in Portugal for a very long time because it's also kind of a funny story. So we were in Portugal for February, and then the camp ended right when the lockdown was starting and the borders were closing. So most of the team went back to Poland and did a quarantine and couldn't row for like over a month because you can really go outside. It was pretty strict lockdown in Poland.
Yeah.
But then there was also an option to stay in Portugal, like on the training camp, just because at that point the Olympics were still in the picture and the qualifications were still in the picture. There was no real information about that yet. So I decided to stay, and also the Rugby double decided to stay. So, and then it was hard to get back.
Yeah.
To Poland because the borders were closed. So I think we ended up staying there for another 5 weeks.
Wow.
Which, it sounds a little bit crazy, but it was quite nice because the hotel was operating as normal. Of course, there were fewer people.
Yeah.
It's in Lago Azul, so it's very separated from everything. And yeah, like we could do everything normal, like practice wise, and go outside for some walks and everything. So I actually didn't miss much of rowing. So I was rowing for that whole time, and then when I came back to Poland end of April, I just had to quarantine for 2 weeks. When I did some erg testing, and I improved a lot, even though I was mostly doing volume. So I took it as a good sign right away. I did like a 6K and a rate cup 2K and done really well on that. So it just gave me some confidence also. And then after a little break, 2 weeks, when I got back in the single in Krakow, it actually felt really, really good.
Oh,
so
wow.
The whole summer it was going pretty well. Of course, some ups and downs, but it was going pretty well. And there was some regatta in July, like some little regatta that only I raced.
Yeah.
But it was still competition. So you had the start. It was in Poznan. You had the start like normal and everything. And I remember I did my PB then 6:44.
6:44. Wow.
Yeah, and then I was actually in the race. I was racing some doubles. So I was like 20 seconds ahead. So I was pretty much like going alone. And it was like a little cross tailwind. So I knew it was like very good result back then. So I was trying to improve a little stuff and not lose it.
So what did you expect for the Europeans? Do you think I'm going to win a medal here? Was it just to make the final? I mean, what was your target?
Well, at first you definitely want to make the final just to be in the mix. So after I made the final, it was like a planned minimum. Although I definitely was thinking about medal. Like that's even when you train. Like I always think about getting a medal. Singles are such a demanding discipline that you never know, because even the final, it was so close that anyone could almost medal. So it's just little differences. So so I was very happy to be second.
Let's talk about that race, because I think Zeidler got dropped a little bit off the start and Kjetil Borch led out, and then for the first part you were level with Sverre Nielsen, and the Greek sculler and Tuskas was leading you as well, I think. So how were you in the first part of that race? What were you feeling? So
actually I was quite happy with the first part. So based on the previous races, the heat, the semi, I knew that my start is not like amazing. I was just throwing my pace more. I didn't like try to do anything crazy off the start, and I still think that in the final my start was a little better than in the semi and the heat. But I was next to Sverry. He was in the next lane, so I knew that he's one of the strongest guys and probably like the favorite to win. So I was really glad that I was next to him.
Yeah.
And like we're kind of the first 1,000, we're very close together, just moving up a little bit, and it gave me the feeling that I'm like really close in the mix, even though like those guys were ahead. I didn't even look that much to the right. I was just doing my thing more. Yeah, like it just felt really good throughout the whole race, and just had a lot of juice left in the second 1,000 meter. I just passed the 500 meters, and then I just counted 10 strokes, and then just started like gradually sprinting.
When did you think medal? I mean, when did you think I'm going to win a medal here?
Well, there was this moment when I looked to the side. I think it was 200 meters to. The whole race, I believe that I can do it.
Yeah.
Because I was close to Sverry, and I felt really good. Like when you feel really good, you almost draw through the race, and like you don't even feel that tired. Like you just do what you have to do.
Yeah.
And I looked back 200 meters to go, I think, and I just like saw them because I didn't really see anyone like from the farther right, and then like I just saw them like I think they were like half length ahead, and then I just count like 30-20 strokes, like just max to the line, and I was hoping that it will work, although I didn't really know in the end.
Yeah. And you were pretty excited when you knew you won that silver medal. I mean, there's a shot of you with your arms.
Yeah. I was really excited. It was a long year, and in the singles, almost everyone was there. Like, it was a really strong field.
Yeah.
And like also it was such a close race, and it was first medal for me in the senior. So yeah, I was very excited about that.
Did you talk to the guys afterwards, and what like Sverry or Kjetil, and what did they say to you? Or maybe Oli said some stuff.
Oh, I didn't get to talk to Oli actually after the race, but I talked to Sverry a little bit. Like he seemed really happy with the win, and just talk a little bit about the race. Like he said, that there was like some little waves at the first 500. Maybe like it's always a little bit bumpy sometimes there in the So yeah, it was nice. Always good to chat to the guys. Even like at the races, like you always like know them and the regatta. So it's always like really good atmosphere.
Now, has that result changed the situation with your federation? Because I know it's been quite difficult for you in terms of how you get on with your federation. Yeah,
well, hopefully it will. Like for now, it's still not really. I don't really know like what's going to happen. So I have no information about any preparations yet. It's just like what are the possibilities to organize anything. Like it's just little things. I've been on the training camps, but when I needed like some spare equipment, nothing even too crazy, but even like fixing a boat in last years, or like new oars. Like my club got me the boat and the oars.
Yeah,
it was always like a problem with that. Or even like last year, I was in Cambridge, and we wanted to get some help from Valery Kleshnev. He heard only good stuff about him, so he's close. So it was a good chance to actually work with him. So like they wouldn't even. It was not a big cost. Like it was always like no to like little things. So it's quite frustrating because if you want to train for the highest medals and at top level, especially in singles, like those little things actually matter a lot, and it was really frustrating to never like have a lot of cooperation with that, with those things. And we tried so much like to talk about, like to try the whole year to talk about those problems and try to resolve it, but it was always so hard. So hopefully now there'll be some change, although it's it's a big struggle even now. Yeah.